listening to the Dyslexia Mom Life podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Holcomb. You are listening to the 12 Days of Dyslexia with tips and thoughts to navigate your dyslexia journey. On the 5th day of dyslexia, I'm sharing with you remediation. When you think about your journey, on the 5th day of dyslexia, I want to tell you one important thing. Try harder is not what you want to say. And it really shouldn't be what you hear. As people say, oh, they just need to try harder, that's not what you need. Our kids are trying hard. They work really hard all day long, sometimes just to keep it together. So I don't recommend try harder, although we want them to have a strong work ethic. But what you need to think about and what you need to be making plans toward, if you haven't already, is remediation. You need to find the right tutor, the right program. There are lots of different things that you can look at when it comes to remediating your child's dyslexia. You're not going to cure dyslexia, but you definitely can remediate it so that your child can learn to read. So your child can learn to spell the best they can. Sometimes dyslexics always struggle with the spelling piece, but the reading doesn't have to be as labored when they learn that there's a method to decoding and they learn how to pull those sounds apart and those words apart. And there's some very specific programs like Orton Gillingham, Wilson, Barton. There's a number of programs that are scientifically based that benefit all children really, but specifically help children with dyslexia be remediated. So on the 5th day of dyslexia, you need to be looking at the program your child is currently in school, okay? What type of reading program do they provide at the school? Is that the best place to be? Is that the best place for them to stay? And if you need additional support because you're not getting what you need at the school level, then you can look at having a private tutor. And depending on the severity of your child's dyslexia, you may have to have outside services as well as far as the tutoring is concerned. Do you know the best place to go to find that information? You need to go back to the evaluation that identified your child as dyslexic. You need to look at the recommendations. How often do they think the child needs remediation? How many days a week? How long is that duration? Is it an hour? Is it 45 minutes? How long is that daily? Or if it's not daily, how many times a week do they need remediation? And I'll tell you one last little tip with remediation, which is this. Remediation doesn't end in May, okay? When you're in the years of remediation, and it is years, okay? It is the long haul. It is the marathon. When you're in the remediation stage, you should expect to also remediate over the summer. It is a great time for your child to make real progress when they don't have other school commitments. Where I'm at in Georgia, the rule of thumb is 10 sessions, and those are an hour apiece. And we usually do 2 sessions a week. So talk to to the people on your team that you're working with to help with your child, to make those decisions on who's the best fit. And one of the pieces I'll tell you, if you're working with private tutors, find someone that your child connects with. Find someone that makes tutoring fun. Interview some people. Have conversations with people. I've interviewed a number of tutors on my show, and when you go back and listen to them, or if you've already listened to them, they all have different personalities. They all approach things a little bit different. So you need to find someone that really connects with your child. And we have always been fortunate to have that situation where our daughter really did enjoy, and we still have relationships with our previous tutors. So the 5th day of dyslexia is all about remediation. Try harder is not enough. Thanks so much for listening today. And the best way that you can thank me is by leaving a review on this podcast so that other moms can find the podcast. Another thought is I would love for you to share this podcast. It could be this episode or your favorite episode or the one that just really spoke to you with a friend or a family member. Remember, 1 in 5 are dyslexics. There's someone in your circle that needs to hear this information. And be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you won't miss any of the other days of dyslexia. Have a great day, and remember, you got this. I'll be back tomorrow with the 6th day of dyslexia.